Hey, this is a really important week in the life of a Christian. It's called Holy Week. And what we're doing this week, Pastor David, Pastor Larry, Pastor Ryan, Jenny Brown, and Kathy Poe, we've put together short devotional thoughts that walk through the timeline of the Holy Week. What actually took place Monday, Wednesday, Friday of Holy Week. And so we're going to share these with you each day. We hope that it serves you well, encourages you, challenges you, and refreshes you. Holy Week begins with Palm Sunday, when Christians commemorate Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem, where the Gospels tell us he was greeted with crowds waving palm branches and crying, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our ancestor David. Hosanna in the highest heaven." You know that. We just talked about that on Palm Sunday here at Graceland. And Monday, Holy Monday, is the second day of Holy Week, right after Palm Sunday. It's the second day that Jesus was in Jerusalem, and the Bible records him giving a variety of teachings and debating the religious leaders over Holy Monday and the next day as well. According to the Bible, Holy Monday is that day after Jesus was greeted with palm leaves and the day before Judas decided to betray him. According to the Gospels, the good news account of Jesus, on this day, Jesus cursed the fig tree, cleansed the temple, and responded to the questioning of his authority. And I just want to give you a couple observations. 2 seasons for a fig tree. You had a small harvest in the spring and the main harvest in the fall. And Jesus was looking for the early folks in the spring, which would have produced smaller and fewer fig trees than the main harvest. But the point he was looking for is that he was looking for something, looking for fruit. Having no figs and withering fig trees were a sign of judgment against Israel for their lack of spiritual fruit. So what do we need to think about that particular point in Holy Monday of Holy Week? Well, Holy Week, the word holy as a descriptor of the word week, is a word that means set apart. It's a word that actually more recently a professor across the river came to understand it as something where we're devoted and fully committed in allegiance. And what Holy Week is, it's a stark reminder for us to reflect and do some spiritual inventory about the person and the presence of Jesus in our lives. Are we yielding to Jesus? Are we walking in faith? Are we exemplifying spiritual fruit in our lives? Well, what is fruit? Fruit can be forgiving somebody, spending time talking to the Father in prayer, telling others how they can be forgiven of their sins, praising God for His attributes and His character and His personhood and His promises, encouraging another believer with words of comfort and encouragement and solace in the midst of a crisis or a death or a difficult time. It can be fasting. It can be reading the Word. It can be confessing sin. There are a million different ways that we can manifest and bear fruit in our lives. But we don't do this on our own. We do this as Jesus tells us in John 15, the 4th book in the New Testament. He says, if you abide in me, remain with me, stick with me, stay with me, you will bear much fruit. But apart from me, Jesus says, you can do nothing. So we want to remain connected to Jesus. So Holy Monday, one of the things that I want to encourage you to believe and do is to stay with Jesus, to do some inventory in your life. Where are you exemplifying faith? Where are you yielding to Him and trusting Him and letting the presence and the person of Jesus manifest Himself in your life? And where are you not? As we think about Holy Week, think about this question. Are you committed and devoted to Jesus? Is He your allegiance above all other allegiances? Monday of Holy Week, leading up to the crucifixion, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus, the most holiest of weeks for the life of a Christian. I pray this encourages you, challenges you, and refreshes you as you pivot and position your heart to focus upon the person and the work of Jesus in your life.